And to me, they accomplished what was their number one goal, and that was to change the perception of where the Knicks were. In terms of change the perception around the league, change the perception with other players, with agents, in terms of going forward, is that a good place to go play? Well, now all of a sudden, that's a good place to go play because, man, that team plays hard. They play together. And New York Knicks basketball is now something people are talking around throughout the league. So they accomplished that, which to me was number one priority.
Oh, Stephen A.
Yes.
So many big destinations that you love.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, you spend more time there now. Miami, it's great to vacation. You were just in the islands.
There's nothing wrong with South Beach. Never anything wrong with South Beach.
I need to know this.
Yeah.
Are the Knicks a destination spot now?
Believe it or not, no. Not yet.
What did you know about Stephen A?
Let me tell you this, West, Worldwide West, please don't text me. Don't.
Where are
get
your
me about this.
pom-poms?
Arnold,
Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. What you talk about, Stephen A? Listen, here's the deal. It's not a destination spot yet. Let me explain. I can't say enough about Tom Thibodeau. He's number 2 on my Coach of the Year. I have a vote, and I'm not gonna hide it. I voted for Monty Williams. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year. Tom Thibodeau's a close number 2. I think the job Monty Williams did in Phoenix is sensational. Leon Rose is my Executive of the Year. I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
With Scott Perry and Worldwide West, William Wesley there, from that particular standpoint, culturally, the New York Knicks can very well be a destination spot. I'm not going to even blame Dolan, because in recent months, Dolan has, thank God, stayed out of the media, stayed out of the news. The question mark is Tom Thibodeau. Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's number 2 Coach of the Year, my candidate. Great coach, number 1 defense, number 1 against three-point shooting, top 5 against the field. But today's player, they want to control stuff. That ain't happening with Tom Thibodeau. You're not going to engage in load management of your own accord working for Tom Thibodeau. You ain't going to get too many perks playing for Tom Thibodeau. You going to prioritize basketball. You playing for Tom Thibodeau. You're not going to go up on podiums talking about basketball is not on your mind. That ain't happening with Tom Thibodeau. That kind of stuff. I'm just going to take days. I'm just going to take days off. Now, that ain't happening with him.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it as a negative to him, because Tom Thibodeau has been on the record talking about the adjustments that he has had to make as a head coach, from Chicago to Minnesota, where he was controlling the whole thing, to now being in New York. And I give him loads of credit for that, and I believe in it. But I'm talking about today's culture of player and what they like and what they've grown accustomed to. Colliding with
it could clash with certain
colliding and clashing with the tendencies of Thibodeau.
Yep.
That is what has me a bit suspect.
I don't know what
It
to
is a young
argue with
team.
first. Because I was prepared to come out here. Last segment, you're going, New York, stand up.
Yeah.
So
talk about it right now. These playoffs.
They got no chance to get past the second round. So you're saying
I didn't say that.
The bar.
Who said that?
The Knicks are getting to the conference.
I didn't say that. You said no chance. I'm not ready to rule that out. I'm not ready to rule that out. I'm not ready to rule out that second round matchup against the 76ers. I'm not ready to dismiss that. I'm not ready to dismiss it. No, I'm not ready to dismiss it.
New York, stand
I'm not
up.
ready to dismiss
This
it.
is how low the bar has been set.
Yeah.
The bar has been set so low that they have a chance to win a playoff series. This is a team that since the year 2000 has never been to the Eastern Conference Final. A chance to win a playoff series is all you need, and it's New York, stand up. And you know what? I think the league is feeling that too. I have to be honest. New York is such a desirable market to play in, such a place where you can amplify your brand. And these superstars nowadays want to be billionaires. They got their eyes on the prize, right? Knicks are a place they feel they can do it if the culture is healthy enough. And now, I don't think it's any brilliant move by Dolan. As you would say, even a dead clock is right twice a day, right? Or in Dolan's case, once every 2 decades. I think finally this regime has gotten it right. You're right to look at Leon Rose and Worldwide West and Thibodeau. They've done a very good job. And now I think the league is looking at its healthy place to play, and it's New York City, and it's the Knicks. But let me now address what you just said about Thibodeau. I never saw Thibodeau as the long-term coach for the Knicks. To me, the Thibodeau, fairly or unfairly, I think is perceived like Mark Jackson, or in baseball, Buck Showalter. There are some coaches, general managers, coaches, managers, whatever, who are seen as this dude can get you to a healthy place. He can change the culture, and then you need someone else to get you over the top, whether fair or unfair. And I look at Thibodeau, and I just always assume that's what the Knicks are thinking. He's going to get us to a place. Maybe not. When you talk about you drown out the message after a while, right? Thibodeau strikes me as a type of dude who might burn out a team after 3 or 4 years, and then you bring in another guy to get you over the top.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is I'm not pointing the finger at Thibodeau as if he's at fault, because he's exactly the way he should be, and he's what's needed in the game of basketball today as far as I'm concerned. I'm not blaming him at all. I'm just simply saying the culture that exists amongst today's players. The question is, how receptive are those individuals going to be, knowing the reputation that Thibodeau has once had, even though he's modified it to some degree? That's the question mark, which is why I said it remains to be seen whether or not this is, the destination, because he's the guy that's there. Because if you're the New York Knicks, he's a godsend. I know he's a godsend to me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Tom Thibodeau. But I will say this. They got to win a championship in Brooklyn. Because, my God, if they don't, let me tell you something. No one will regret not going to New York more than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Listen.
They're right there.
This is Brooklyn. Listen, Brooklyn is one of the boroughs. You understand? It's like it's Queens. The Mets and Queens, Mets and Queens, right? But we don't talk about them too much. These are the Yankees. You understand what I'm saying?
The Giants, the Jets don't even play
I'm just trying to tell you. Brooklyn is nice. Everybody but the Knicks, because I'm all about New York first, unlike some traders I know. I'm all about the boroughs. Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan. I'm about the boroughs, baby. So I ain't rooting against Brooklyn except against the Knicks. But I'm telling you, when there's something special, and you have to admit this with your hating trader self. Even you got to admit this. No matter what success that's achieved in Brooklyn, could you imagine if it had been achieved for the Knicks? If they don't win in Brooklyn, I'm talking specifically about KD and Kyrie. If there is not a championship parade on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, I promise you, they're going to sit back and go like this. Damn.
One question.
What if we win New York?
One question.
What if we were in New York City playing for the orange and blue? As Spike Lee would say, orange and blue skies, baby. Do you know I went by Spike Lee's office last week? We took a picture. We had the net.
I saw it on social media.
It was the actual net from the 73 NBA championship game 7. Actually, I think it was 70. I'm sorry. When Willis Reed came on, he had the net to that.
It was 69-70.
It was 69-70. He had the net to that, okay? And we took a picture right outside his office. Orange and blue skies, baby. Orange and blue skies.
A long time ago? I wasn't born 69-70.
That's
you
right.
say that's a long time ago?
Yeah,
I have one question.
50 years.
You said, if the Nets don't win the championship.
51 years now.
Let me pose another question. What if the Nets do win the championship?
I think that we'll have no choice but to celebrate them. I think Brooklyn will be crazy. New York Knicks fans will be, all right, y'all got it.
You know why New York
but it ain't going to be the same.
Good. I mean, we have a good parallel,
Ain't gonna be the same.
right? Lakers, Clippers, and Knicks.
Ain't gonna be the same.
There's a difference. The Nets
Why?
are not the Clippers. I'll tell you why. Because the Nets, who won a championship in the ABA with Dr. J, have never been in New York as an NBA team. They were in Jersey. Mm-hmm. So the Knicks were running unopposed. And since they were running unopposed, they had the whole town. Mm-hmm. Now they're in Brooklyn. That is New York. By the way, the Yankees are in the Bronx. I was born in the Bronx.
So was I.
I grew up in Manhattan, right? The Knicks are and the Rangers are the only teams that play in Manhattan.
That's right.
You want to call that New York. Everyone else plays in the boroughs. Okay?
But they still call it. But it's called New York. It ain't Brooklyn. But they calling themselves Brooklyn, and that's all right. You know this, Max. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't, Max, because you don't travel too much like that. But in New York City, but there's a difference between getting stuck in traffic on Broadway and getting stuck in traffic on Atlantic Avenue. You understand? It's just a different feel. You wouldn't understand that, Max. I understand it. I understand it. You wouldn't get. You wouldn't get that. You would. Oh, that is so wrong.
Oh,
that is so wrong.
Barclays? Are you out of your mind?
I'm just telling you. You don't understand. You don't understand. Let me tell you something. They better win.
8th Avenue.
They better win.
Avenue,
they better win. Because if they ain't the champion, we're not talking about the Nets as champions at the end of the season.
I'm very disappointed.
You won't even hear anybody talking about it.
I'm very disappointed.
You won't even hear anybody talking about it.
You just argued the Knicks are in a destination spot. Very disappointed.
And then turned around and said Brooklyn's not in New York.
Luka had a classic playoff moment last year versus the Clippers.